Today I'm here to talk to you guys about free-to-play games versus pay-to-play games and how the industry is changing drastically and quickly. Which one is better? Which one is worse for us as gamers? What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and on this channel I typically talk about some of the best games that we can play, whether they're on mobile, on Steam, if they're free or not. That's usually the topic of discussion here. But today I wanted to kind of sit back and talk about a huge thing that's happening inside of the gaming world right now, because the gaming world is very quickly changing the way that things are monetized. And I'm not talking about pay to win games here today. That's not the topic. The topic is pay to play games, which, let me define that. A pay to play game is a game that you go and buy, whether it's in the mobile app market, if it's a mobile game, or if it's a game that you go buy from Best Buy. You spend 60 bucks, you buy your game, and you play that game. That is a pay to play game. Then we have free to play games. Those are games that you can go and download and play absolutely for free. And inside the game, there'll be ways for you to spend money. Microtransactions, those are called. So let's talk about the pay to play model. That means I go to the store or I go to the app store and I spend money to buy the game and to play it. What are the benefits of this type of game? Well, one is you know what you're paying. If I want to go buy a game and it costs 60 bucks, I know that that game is going to cost me $60. I'm going to pay it. I'm going to either be happy with the game or not happy. But what I do know is that in the future, I won't be spending more and more money inside of that game. Now, that doesn't mean that those possibilities aren't there, right? You would have to buy expansion packs if new boards came out, new levels came out, new characters you could play came out. So you would spend $60 for the game, and then maybe in 6 months you'd spend another $15 for the expansion packs. This is how the gaming industry was globally, universally. It was like that kind of everywhere. And the benefit of this is you're not going to go crazy spending so much money, and sometimes in some people's cases spending money that you don't have, putting yourself in a really bad position. You would know that you have 60 bucks that you could spend on that game. If you're a young kid, you're going to save up your money from your chores. You're going to buy that game for 60 bucks and you are going to sit there and play the heck out of it and enjoy it. And then in a few months, you'll buy the expansion if you're still playing the game and if you still love it, and you knew what you were getting into. That's the benefit of pay to play. So now let's shift over to the free to play model that we've been seeing become increasingly more popular. Now, this starts with the mobile market, where most mobile games that you see, they're free to play, but it's also for PC games as well. Destiny 2 is an example of a game that's free to play. Amazing AAA game, absolutely free to play. And there are hundreds others that are just like it. League of Legends, another great example. So these free to play games, what are the benefits? Well, I guess a good way for me to share one of the benefits is to talk about one of the downfalls of the paid model. And a downfall of the paid model is everyone can't try it. If I don't have 60 bucks, I can't ever try that game, unless if I go over to my buddy's house and play it over there. But with a free to play game, everyone that has the device, a computer, a console, or a phone that can play that game can try it. Even if you decide after an hour of playing, this game's not for me, you wasted nothing but your time. So when developers are making these games, they have the opportunity to say this to themselves: do I want to charge for the game and a lesser amount of people are going to be able to play it, or do I want to make it for free where everyone can try it and the people that like it will continue to play? So essentially, that's the biggest benefit of a free to play model. More people can play the game. More people have the opportunity to play, but the game is free. So how do these development companies make any money? Well, of course, there's microtransactions inside of the game. And now these can vary in many different ways. For example, in a game like Fortnite, you will be able to get character skins and different skins for your weapons. That in no way impacts the game, but cosmetically. If you're a game player that really enjoys the game and you play it so much and you're like, wow, that outfit looks really cool, or that weapon looks awesome. Yes, you can pay for that, and it can be put onto your character, and it does not change the game in any way but the way that it looks. Now, the free-to-play model isn't always that pure, though, because there are ways that you can buy other things inside of these games as well. Now, some games will do this. They'll let you play for free for the first 3 levels, and then after that, boom, if you want to continue playing this game, you need to pay for the actual price of the game, which will be whatever they want to charge for the game. So essentially, it's an extended demo. That is not typically what we're seeing these days, though, either. Now you're going to be able to get more things inside of the game, even beyond cosmetics. Some games will work off of energy systems, which means you could essentially play for a certain amount of time throughout the day because you have that much energy. But when your energy expires, you can't play anymore. So what you would have to do to get more energy would be to buy more energy from the shop. If you want to play more, you have to pay more. Energy systems stink. No one likes them. But again, if you're a casual player who wants to play said game, but you don't want to pay anything because you don't have any money, you can still play it for the amount of time they give you for free. And then when you're cut off, then you're cut off, and then you can't play it anymore. So energy systems aren't a fan favorite. But you know what else really stink inside of games? Ads. Advertisements. I don't want to finish a round and have to watch an ad. That should not be an option in any games. We typically see this in, let's call them cheesier games, lower budget games, games that really aren't that great. Cheap mobile games, cheap PC games. That's where you'll see advertisements. No one likes them. They're spammy, they're ugly, and they ruin a gaming experience. But most of the hate and where most people get upset within the gaming industries are for these pay-to-win games. Pay-to-win games are gonna be ones that if you pay this amount of money, you could buy this weapon that will make you stronger than everyone else that didn't buy that weapon. Or you can buy this element, this piece of gear, or this mount, or this pet that runs along with you, and you will be better and stronger and more likely to win than the person that did not pay for it. This is pay to win. This means that you can gain an advantage inside of a game over people that are free to play because you were to pay money. And it gets really bad when it is just compounding. The more you spend, the stronger you get, and that makes it impossible for you to beat. If you're someone that has a ton of money in some of these games, and you like to play the game, of course, you want to grind it, spend time in it, you can really be one of the best inside of the game only because you have a bigger wallet. This is negative. This is bad. And this ruins the gaming experience for many other people. Now, if you're a casual player and you're not trying to be the best in the world, if you're just trying to play casually, you can play that same game that someone's spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars inside of. And no, that is not an exaggerated number. That happens inside of games. I know, it's crazy, but you can still play that same game casually just to enjoy the game itself, and you won't be impacted. But you also can't expect to compete to be one of the best in the world, which for most people is okay, because how many people are actually going to be the best in the world in any game? Very small amount of people. So you have to kind of think of, as a gamer, where do you want to sit? Do you want to play for enjoyment, or do you want to get into esports, be competitive, and try and be some of the best? Now, if you speak to old school gamers, I'm talking about guys from like myself that were gaming in the 80s and the 90s, they will say, many of them, not all of course, that they like the old model better. The pay to play, the I'm going to spend 60 bucks in the game and I'm going to play this game. That's because it's pure gaming. Only progress, the only advantage, the only way that you get to the top is by practicing and being good inside of the game. That's what gaming was meant to be. Now with the free-to-play model, there are other ways that you can gain advantages and get yourself to the top. So the question is, which one is better? And I guess that's how you look at things. Because if you're someone who has no money, if you unfortunately are in a poor financial situation and you don't have money to spend on video games, but you have an old console or an old cell phone, you can still play a lot of these games that you would never be able to play if you had to pay for it, because it's free to play and you could really grind hard to try and get somewhere so you can be competitive. But if you're someone that does have the money and you say, oh, you know, I want to spend 60 bucks in a game and I want to become one of the best because of my skill, you're going to like the older school model better, because you don't want to have to compete against people that have bigger wallets than you, and then you just have an unfair disadvantage because they spent more, they got the better gear, and maybe you only spent on a battle pass or something like that. Oh, we didn't talk about battle passes, because those things are coming inside of all games now. If you even buy a game these days for 60 bucks, there are ways for you to spend on things inside of the game now as well. Small microtransactions, we can call them, like battle passes, where you get extra rewards, extra gear, extra cosmetics, if you pay $5, $10, $15 per month. I personally like battle passes because it's something you can grind along the way, achievements you could make as you progress through your month. I'm a fan of them, but some people aren't. Some battle passes are really cool where you get some extra gold, you get some extra loot, and you get some extra cosmetics. But ones that will be able to give you power along the way, well, those are not good battle passes. Those give that unfair advantage. So I think we're fairly clear on what the gamers are gonna like. It depends on what kind of gamer you are, who you are personally, and what you like. But what about game developers? Why is the industry shifting from this pay-to-play game to a free-to-play model? Guys, isn't the answer clear? Game companies are making more money, lots more money, off of the free-to-play model. You can only get money when people buy a game in the pay-to-play model or when you come out with new content as an update. Now, of course, they are implementing battle passes, so that's more money along the way as well. But for the most part, it's on the sale of the game. Now, with the free-to-play model, what you're doing is trying to get people to really love your game, to really, for a lack of a better word, you want people to get addicted to playing your game, and then they're gonna be looking at all of these possibilities that they can have, which they could spend money to get these possibilities and make them just delicious, to the point where someone says, oh, $5 a month? I can afford that because I'm playing the game so much, I'll pay $5 a month. Well, you know what? You keep them playing for a year and you got the price of the game, but we have a lot of people that also play in these models and spend a lot more than $5 per month. There are lots of opportunities for gamers to spend money in the free-to-play games. And some of them are really pure, really nice, cosmetics, or things that are just gonna help you enjoy the grind along the way. And then you have some that are a little bit more devilish at heart, where you can gain more than that. So companies are going to this free-to-play model because they have the opportunity to make more money through this model. Why do they make more money? Because they can get more people playing the game. If you have a game, Game A, that you have to pay $10 to play in the mobile market, I can guarantee you that that game will have so many less plays than Game B that's free to play, that is in the mobile market, that includes microtransactions. But this is no longer just to the mobile market, it's being adopted everywhere in gaming. Gamers are being programmed to no longer want to buy their games, but instead to spend money while playing their game. Now let's be clear, this is not a problem until game companies take advantage of this and really have it so that people feel forced or feel to the point where they don't have control of their spending. That's where the issues come into play. Now, for me, I love the free-to-play model. I really like that I could spend at will, but now keep in mind, I'm someone that has very good self-control. If I look at a deal in the shop and I'm like, I don't want that deal, I'm not gonna feel sucked in to purchasing that pack or sucked into getting involved in that deal. I could easily cut it out and say, no, that's not for me. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are not in the same shoes as me. For me, I love the free-to-play model. It allows the entire world of people to play amazing video games, whether it be on mobile, on PC, or even on console. People can play these games for free and enjoy them forever. What I hope for as a gaming community is that game developers keep their passion in the games and don't become money hungry. Now let's be honest here. Most of the time, you have the game developers creating the game, and then you have the monetization department. They work on how you're gonna make money from the game. Two very different teams, worth keeping that in mind. How do you guys feel? Do you prefer a pay-to-play game or a free-to-play game? Let me know in the comments below, sub to the channel, and be good.